This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of
the interview with Jenny, the problematic politician.
Sanctioned by the
co-leader of the problematic philosophies.
Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the
Doing fest.
All other weapons are restricted.
If you don't like problematic profanity.
What is this?
What's your profanity?
Right, I'm sorry.
Crude humor.
And silly satire.
This is very, very bad. Excuse me.
Then you will not be
Pursued.
Hunted?
Granted immunity.
Oh, okay.
And shall not be harmed.
Interesting. Just kidding, you will be hunted.
You will be destroyed.
Absolutely. Destroyed.
Dead.
Demolished.
Ha ha. LOL.
Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder,
Nice.
will be legal for 12 continuous hours.
Oh, hell yeah.
Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when
The interview finally ends. Thank God.
Hell yeah, brother, mother, sister, daddy.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Alright, let's fucking go.
Open the bunker.
Please open the bunker.
Open the bunker.
Open. Here we go, baby.
Yeah. Well, the sun's setting. The sun sets at like 7:50.
It's dark, like outside my house. Like,
No, it's still like light.
why? We're in the same time zone. How is it light there, but like it's nighttime here? Wait,
NorCal, baby.
bro, what the? Is that a thing? I don't even know. Let's open up this bunker and find out. Ooh. That's the sound of the bunker opening, by the way. I don't know if you could hear it.
Yes, I can.
I hope you could. Okay.
Oh my god, I've heard this.
Tactical nuke!
Oh God, it's so long. I kind of just want to like cut it some way.
It
But
was really long. I was just like,
you're like, bro, shut the fuck up already. Like, stop. And that's Red Charles on the keys, everyone. Usually we talk. We have a cute banter, but I guess not. I guess not.
damn.
I mean, I already know I'm not gonna have you on the show again. Like, shit. All right, this is going
Damn, I don't know
horribly
what to
already.
say.
You talked about collecting rocks and crystals and stones. How about we don't mention that on the podcast ever? Because that's really boring. No,
I'm like,
what was the last stone?
I was like, I don't collect
I saw how
crystals.
sad you got. Whoa, wait. You didn't do crystals. You don't do crystals? Do you want to get into crystals?
Not really.
Or just stones?
Just like stones. Eventually boulders.
Yo, I fuck with that. So I don't know why that kind of sent me into like a new spiral, but stacking boulder. Oh wait, the theme song's done. All right, we gotta stop this conversation. I'll tell you about the boulders later. I'll tell you about all about. I like love stacking boulders and rocks and stuff like that. All right, fuck.
Okay.
Yeah! On today's episode, well, I kind of just record like every day, like every single day consecutively. I don't sleep. I just edit these episodes, record them, broadcast them for everyone to see. And that's kind of it. But on today's episode, because I took a little break and then everything, and then I started having to like edit. And then after I edited, so we're going to have a guest today, which is like kind of a normal thing, I guess. So anyways, I don't know who you are. I have literally nothing, maybe like a percent, like a 1%.
Maybe 10%, you know?
1 to 10%?
I put a lot out there on my Finsta.
Really? Oh, okay. So that's 10%
Yeah.
out of like what, 100? Damn. So I know 10% about this person. Would you like to introduce yourself so we can know the other 90% and basically be you?
All right.
Like vicariously
well,
looking
hello.
you now.
My name is Jenny. I'm just like,
That's that crowd
fans,
out there.
please.
Stop, shut up. Stop.
I'm from SoCal, Fontana, and
I mean, wait, we're all butted. Yeah! Wrong button, bro. I'm so,
all right, so
I'm
we're
so
catching
sorry.
hands when I go home.
Oh my god!
I'm so sorry about that.
But yeah.
So you're from the Tana.
Yes, from the IE. We love the IE.
Yo, the IE, baby. What is that? Oh, the Inland Empire. You're right. Why is it called the question. Why is it called the Inland Empire? And what is the empire of?
It's the empire of what? Are we in a valley? The Inland Empire?
Yeah, so it's inland. Oh no, it's inland from the sea, the ocean.
Yeah,
not
because
the-
then we
the
have
ocean.
mountains next to us.
Yeah. Hey, you ever think about the geology, geographics of the Inland Empire, it's like a big bowl, right? So if there's a tsunami, we'd all just be in a fishbowl and die, right? Like we'd just be in the bowl swimming around in the Pacific.
But I think we're too far inland for like the water to actually...
Oh, because we're the Inland Empire, right? Okay. So Pomona would be done because it's like those mountain ranges. Wait, no, because we're like really far down, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
We're not super close to like water.
I think there's a bunch of like lakes around here. So like wouldn't the lakes like kind of be like, oh shit, the water's coming. So like they kind of rise against... No, they wouldn't rise against the land.
Maybe, maybe with global warming, they'll just do whatever they want.
That's the correct answer. Wow. All right. Well, okay. Anyways, let's actually start the podcast now. I wasn't recording the whole thing. Were you recording? Were you recording?
No, I thought you were.
I wasn't recording. Do you want to start recording? Hey, start recording.
I've been recording.
Okay, I'm going to cut all that out. All right, so welcome to the show. So Jenny, I have a list of questions. I'm only going to ask you one question and we'll go from there. But out of my list of questions, what's your favorite number from 1 to 10?
4.
Okay, so I'm going to pick number 1. I'd really...
Oh, like, damn.
So sad.
I was like, you only had one question.
I only have one question. I was going to say 4 questions. No, I'll ask you 4 questions then. So I'd really like to know more about you, of course. That's why you're on the podcast, because I know that you from like a very limited amount of literal no interaction in real life. I think some interaction. I took pictures of you, which is really weird to say. Now I'm just going to unsay that. I was going to say evidence of you now. There's no good way to say that. I'm just... See ya. We were in the same organization kind of thing going on with drums and stuff. So that's cool. That's cool. That's where I know you from. And I was like, oh, dude, Jenny's really fucking cool because they're really musical. But I was going to ask you, speaking of the Inland Empire, and your experience living in it and going from Southern California being in the Inland Empire. Wait, were you here? Your whole life?
I was born in Bellflower, which is like closer to LA. But I moved over to Fontana when I was like 3, so it's essentially all I know.
So that's all you literally don't know anything else. So this podcast is a waste of time then.
I can just give you population and like who lived here before us.
Damn, I have no idea about that. But you've been there since you're like a child to like an adult. Okay, so that's basically your whole life. How has like your experience like in the Inland Empire really sculpted your rightfully radical perspective on not just politics, but community politics, community agendas, community outreaches, and coalitions? How has that really affected your hub of knowledge, especially going into, because I know you're very vocal about like the warehouses and logistic fields in Fontana and how they kind of really taken over and become the real empire of the inland. You know what I'm saying? Damn.
That was good.
Got him. Oh my God. We should just celebrate. That joke was so great. Oh my God, that was so... Dude, that's what makes the podcast, baby. All right, anyways. So being here your whole life, that we've really seen it evolve into that sphere, into that warehouse hub and everything instead of this community-oriented area. And how has that upbringing from Fontana, like moving out and being so vocal and radical about your political beliefs with it, how's that really sculpted what you want to do in the future in politics?
I was like, damn, I understand.
Because I don't believe in politics.
So
you have to talk me into politics.
Honestly, I like when I really think about it, I'm like, how am I the way that I am? Because like my parents were super like conservative, like no one really talked much about politics. So it's kind of something I started learning through school. I would like say the one thing that I had was really good education, and like the teachers I had, they went like beyond just teaching the curriculum. Like it was definitely a lot more like extra attention to other subjects, or like made us like actually start critically thinking, which was something I guess I wasn't really used to because I was like, oh, I love school, I'm good at it, so I'm going to do what I have to do to get a good grade in the class. I had a teacher who was like, well, why do you think we have to like abide by the system, and what happens to people who don't do well in the system? Like I wanted to be a teacher growing up because I like school so much, and every year it was kind of like, I want to be that grade teacher or like the next. And then I was like, high school, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll become a high school teacher, maybe I'll become a professor. And then when I got into college, I realized how much I didn't like school.
That really changed. Why did that flip so much? Was it the educators? Was it the experience? Or what kind of flipped it onto like almost 180?
I had a few teachers in like middle school who weren't necessarily the best like experience. And it was kind of like weird in a way, like you shouldn't be bullied by your teachers or belittled in any way. And I was kind of like, oh, like that never happened in my previous experience. And it kind of made me think about how other kids didn't have the same teachers I had. So it was definitely like, oh, like there's inequity within one school. So like, what about like on a broader sense? And when I started taking classes, I went to Cal State San Bernardino my first 2 years. I wanted to do sociology. Like I had an idea of what it was. And like once I started studying more, like how there are different inequities, not only within like a school, but within like minorities. And that's when I started more aware. I would take it in like my lens and like schooling, kind of the area that I immediately lived in Fontana. Some friends I had who lived in like South Fontana and how like they had a different experience than I did. And that's kind of when I started paying attention more to like local politics, because I took like one government class in high school and they made us sit in on city council meetings. And then that's where I kind of learned where like the city manager and like the local immediate government has like the most effect on our day-to-day lives. Federal politics is important, but it's not something that really affects us immediately. That's kind of when I first started paying attention in high school, was like, what's the mayor doing? Like, who's really keeping them in check?
With the systems of checks and balances and everything, but it's almost like it's just that distracts us from checking those people. Oh my God, this is so hard to explain. Let me just like breathe for like a second. Oh my God. Okay, cool. So the people that are putting those checks and balances in place, or the broad general public, are kind of assuming like myself, someone that's ignorant and oblivious of everything going on and doesn't like politics. No,
I was like, okay, Bull.
I know, I do, yeah. This character, this facade of it. Anyways, so the general population are just assuming that these things are getting done. Like they're assuming that vaccinations are getting rolled out. Like they're assuming that they're going to get paid back from the government. Like they're assuming that laws get set in place until they are a part of the system, until they are in the most extreme sense brutalized by the system or even ruled out of the system. I think of that all the time. Like, who is literally being the check and balances to these local governments, aside from coalitions, aside from community overseers? I think that's overseers. And there's something really interesting about you mentioning the difference between growing up in North Fontana and the South Fontana, because there's a lot of redlining between that zones. And there's a lot of redlining in the Inland Empire that just came out recently, like from in our lifetime, within the last 20 years, which really segregated and made more of a divide between the Inland Empire, like city to city, in a more broader sense, which is really wild, because it used to be just like farmlands and shit like that, and like not even like very limited warehouses and stuff. It went so far to affect the communities in South Fontana. They're literally just building around it so people could move out or die off or something. Basically, I mean, this is what I'm assuming. Like this, you got to correct me because I know I'm wrong. So, like that. Correct me if I am wrong, but it seems like they're literally waiting for people to die off or get so annoyed by the construction and the extreme moving in, like all these trucks and all these warehouses, and basically just like kicking everyone out in some way. Is that what's happening? Is that like what's going on in like cities?
Yeah, I would say so. Suburbs? Like definitely within the past like 20 years specifically. But like I think especially after 2008, coming out of that economic depression, it was like, okay, well, what can we do in the Inland Empire? And it was like LA was already industrialized and like space was being utilized there. And it's like so expensive to live there because there's so little space to continue building on. Warehouses and like big companies decided to move inland to like place these other warehouses because it's like, oh, it's cheaper out here. There's less people out here from LA to these warehouses in the Inland Empire.
Because that's where the jobs are. Like it's literally just making these people commute, which is also another thing about like freeway system and how like it's been like so packed over the last like 10 years or longer than 10 years, because like you said, like after the recession 2008, everyone's commuting to these jobs because it's like they picked up the first available job and they're like, dude, I can't lose my job, I can't look for another job because what if another recession hits, which it kind of did, like after this year or after the last year. And it's like, but there's not even wants to work in a warehouse, like not even is able to work in a warehouse, because that in itself is an ableist job, because you have to be well-bodied to be a warehouse worker. It's not like, oh, you can work in the offices. What, dude, one person oversees like 300 employees as an HR person? What the fuck? You mentioned something about going to government meetings and those like city council meetings, right? And you still do that. Like, I think, was it like yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Yeah. You kind of like virtually sat in. I was so, oh my God, I was so hyped for like anyways, it was just awesome to like hear a familiar voice. That's why I was like, familiar voice in a different setting, in a very like, I was gonna say proper, like it was like the fucking like the King's Court or something. Like, what is that? A very proper way to say it. It was really interesting to see you in a different outside perspective, and it really inspired me to like ask you more than one question, at least for this podcast, because there's so much more about this, because you're pretty young. and going into politics at a young age, especially since it's so geared towards 30-year-olds and up, because like, the whole law about like being the president, you have to be up like over 35. There's a lot of old farts in the fucking politics. Yeah. And being just like politically conscious at a young age is so exhausting in so many ways, because we can't vote until 18. We can't be involved unless we're in like with a bachelor's degree or in a group or coalition. And it's really interesting that you started getting involved at such a young age compared to when politicians kind of start their career. And that's kind of something I need more understanding of. Is it a career path that starts later on in college, or do you think like these politicians or people that are going into politics or even local government, are they starting and being groomed into the position from a young age, or from family members or mentors and stuff?
I don't really know. Like when I think about like the current like officials in like Montana, I know that Warren like grew up in LA area, and I think she was part of like a city council or some form of government there. And then she moved to Fontana, which is when she joined the city council and was there for 8 years before she became mayor. The city pro temp, Philip Cothran, he has kind of been involved in Fontana for a while as well. But I also know that he's like being like groomed by Warren, and like he's supposed to be the next person to be mayor once she's out,
fill in the position,
or whenever she decides to stop running. But he's like very closely tied with her. And he's young. He's like 30, at least like 35, which was on the younger side on the city council.
Since he's getting groomed into that position, like he's going to be in there for like what, 10 years, 20 years, which is another thing I wanted to talk to you about. But like, yeah, about like term, the term policy and everything like that. But shouldn't it be like someone, I know he has experience, but like, shouldn't it be someone that's a little younger and like has more to offer in some way, instead of someone that's getting groomed into the position? Because like, what's more important? Is it the community members, like a younger person being aware of like what the community needs and being literally in that like area of like where they're not just like qualifications, but area of like relevance of what they want to bring to the community and the government, local government at least? Or is it about experience of like knowing what to do in with policies and fucking paperwork and like meetings and shit like that, like the other stuff? What's the deal? Like, why are they trying to groom people to just like replace them instead of just being like, yeah, whoever's voted in, basically?
It's probably easier for them to just be like, well, we think this way, so it'd be, let's train someone to also think like us, so when we leave, like all our work wasn't for nothing. And I definitely think that, and like a new perspective, regardless of like experience, would like question some of the things that they do. I feel like a lot of like institutions are kind of like, oh yeah, you should think for yourself, but also be like, take what we do and what we say, and like, you should think that.
Yeah, why don't we just go into like the elders, like, go to the like, round table of elders that are like voted out, but they're like, like they're retired, but they like give their suggestions. Like, I know that's a thing. Like, is that a thing? Like retired politicians like giving their advice, kind of like presidents. They're like, yeah, I'll give my advice. Like, we go golfing or something. I'll give my advice. Like, I don't want advice from you, Bill Clinton. Fuck off, bro. Bill Clinton looks like a rag now. That's so problematic. But like, dude. And then there's that whole thing about fucking George Bush.
Yeah,
and like George Bush is like painted now. They try to make it cute like Bob Ross. Dude, George Bush is a fucking war criminal. Get out of here. Yeah, you can't pay to hell, fucker. Anyways, dude, speaking of like retired people, not retired, I don't want to speak about retired people. Fuck that. Dude, they're just gonna grow. No more bad jokes. No more bad jokes. With term policies, how do you feel? First, I'll ask you, like, all right,
like limits?
How do you feel about term policies and how extensive they are, especially in local government?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, let me hold on. Let's go over that again. The limits of term policies. Should there be a limit like there is terms with like presidential terms? And I don't know if judges have terms like that, but should there be a limit to their involvement with government?
Yes.
With that position. I'm not really sure because I don't know anything about politics at all.
You're the mayor of the bunker.
I live in a bunker. And it's just me here. Like, it's free reign, baby. I make the rules. It's oligarchy. Bro, there's not even a mayor. It's just like, I see myself, I'm like, you need to go back to work. I don't know. Wait, that's a different field. That's not government. Anyways, that's fascism.
No.
Are there term limits for local government?
There aren't.
That's bingo. That's what I'm interested in.
Honestly,
why
don't
not?
Like within like California state politics, they just recently implemented term limits for senators and assembly members. Like within the past like 5-ish years.
Oh, that's almost to the federal state, right? Okay, that's a whole child. Okay, is that like more of a going into like state?
Well, like I was like, I honestly don't know much about federal. Like
federal
from state to federal,
government?
it's like completely different, which is really weird. You would think it would function the same way, but it doesn't.
Oh, okay,
Like
that's
federal
weird.
government don't have term limits.
Like the rules and term policies. That's wild because it's like, why is that just like a little kind of like segment that doesn't have to apply to the same rules, but then everything else has term limits? Like I feel like they don't have checks and balances, and they have a more of effect, like a stronger impact of effects, at least on a district or beyond the district level. I guess like regions, like West Coast, middle. I was gonna say middle coast. You can't have a middle coast.
Midwest.
What is it called? Midwest. Yeah. Why is it Midwest? Why not Mid East? What the fuck is the Mid East?
West?
What? Why is it just mid? Just middle. Like it's West, East, middle. Like
I almost said mid-cal.
Yo,
and I was just like, because clearly all I think about is California and not the entirety of the United States.
Here's another question for you. Do you think California should get split up into 3 different states?
Split up?
3 different states. Remember that was on the ballot?
To 3 Californias?
Yeah,
I've seen pictures.
It makes sense yet. Because like, Southern California could be literally its own economy. Like we have warehouses, which kind of sucks, but we have warehouses. We have a beach. I mean, wait. No, not just a beach.
These are the criteria.
That's fun. Yeah. Okay, we have fun. We have LA, baby. No, we have a whole economy. Like we have enough people to like function by ourselves. We have a dock. That's what's called a dock. Yeah. Like to imports. Yeah. We have.
Oh my God. You said we have the beach.
Things come in on sailboats, on surfboards. And they're like, cowabunga, here's your supplies from China and Japan and East Asia. Sometimes Australia. Yeah. Oh, and Indonesia and the Indian. Anyways, so we have a beach, but do you think like that's a viable option or like should be an option? Because there's a second part to the question. Because California is such a big state, and we're talking about local governments, and that's what you're most interested in more of a local level of impact. And North California, Mid California, Central California, and Southern California have 3 different temperaments, like literal temperature zones, economic values and economic needs, just different, almost everything in that sphere of like they need different laws, different regulations, different policies for different things that they have in their communities that are separate from our communities. Do you think that states should be in a way smaller, districts should be smaller? There should be a cap size for like cities and like what they kind of like, who oversees them and the oversight in the city, because there's like it's just like not local anymore. It's almost like a whole fucking state. Like LA's could be its whole like country, basically.
I don't know like how you would break that up, because if you were to do it by population, LA would have to be split up several times.
That's not my job. That's
like
going to be your job to figure that out, politician.
And they're just five people in NorCal just chilling.
Oh, that's the other thing, dude. Sacramento, like the state capital where everything's done, is literally so far. It's 8 hours away. Shouldn't someone that's making your laws and like demands and like if you want to sit in a meeting for it to be accessible, like shouldn't that just be like literally local, like within like a few miles of your town, where like it's more district things? Because our Congress people down here, our representatives down here, all fucking go to Sacramento to make to go to the rules, to go make the rules, and then they all go to Washington D.C., which is so far away, so it's not accessible to like just sit in a meeting and just be like, oh shit, I'm gonna see what's going on. So should it be limited to like the smaller area, the smaller spaces, and focus more on the community, or should it stay the same but become more accessible?
I feel like having more representatives might be better. Like they try to be as accessible as they can, but at the same time, it's not working. Like it's clearly not effective. Like I wouldn't want to keep the same system. I think there'd be better having more people in a position of power. Like instead of having like a mayor, maybe like a group of people where they come together on decisions, like expanding city council, probably.
Neighborhood watch. Oh, okay, that's it. I was thinking like neighborhood watch. Well, like how about that in that sense? Like let's go even more local. Let's like kind of like focus the sphere of government at least. So there's like neighborhood watches, like kind of like in the block or community. If there's like they are the literal oversight for that and the organizers for things happening, should they have some political power in some way? Do you think like that would be even a good option, or do you think they would kind of like become little districts like fucking, I don't know, like in the old times, like dukes and lords and shit, and like just divide and like completely separate themselves and like go to war, like Chino versus Fontana, and they're like, we're gonna fight you, like gangs rivalries? Or do you think it's gonna be actually that localized government when you give people that power, responsible power, and they're very responsible and respectful because they want to stay within the realms of the community? They're not thinking about like expanding and shit like that. Do you think giving them power to make their own policies and be their own oversight in some ways, not just with policing, but with general things like just like sidewalk shit, or like if they need something done, like it's more immediate instead of all the red tape of going through the council, and like if someone's like want a warehouse, like you have to talk to that literal community instead of like the town city mayor or whatever. Do you think that will solve a lot of problems, or like that's just one aspect that's like kind of like not where we're at the moment? Like we're not ready for that, where we're at politically and with government.
Maybe instead of giving like more people political power, it's just like dividing that power among more people, if that makes sense.
The council you're
like,
talking about, like those representatives from each community in a way?
Yeah, like maybe like expanding it, like having 5 people from each district instead of just one person representing that entire
representatives, right? Like you know how they have like the Fontana representative is also like 3 or 4 other cities that have completely different problems and concerns.
Yeah,
that's some tomfoolery. Like especially in the Inland Empire, like there's so many. Oh my god, I have a list. Hold on, I have a hold up a second. I have a literal list. It's my notes app, which is something I don't use a lot. My mom sent it to me. She helped me make this list because we're becoming communist little by little. I'm so sorry. I'm literally okay. So the District 31. So like you see this, Jenny, you see this list? Like I have a whole list. It looks like a dude. It looks like a rap sheet. Or it looks like a kind of like I'm going after these people.
Literally, like you have a hit list.
Oh my god! Imagine it's like, wait, wrong song.
I mean, I don't know what that is. I've never seen one of those.
Oh wait, wrong sound again. This is the sound. District 31, Congressman Pete Aguilar. Rancho Cucamonga, San Bernardino, and Redlands. So, you know, mostly Republican, mostly upper class fuckers. District 35, Norma Torres. Ontario, Chino, Fontana, Montclair, Pomona, Bloomington, and Rialto. What the fuck? So those are like completely different areas. Why? And there's so many of those, and they literally just like forget about a certain city, and they're just like, you know, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna worry about Pomona. Pomona's having some problems with gangs. I don't want to deal with that. Let's put it with the mayor. You know, 4th Street Sharkies. That's not my problem. Like you said, giving people not political power, but agency to make those decisions. How does that kind of like trickle down with their influence on local politics and government hearings and everything like that? Giving them the agency beyond voting and beyond that kind of red tape and counting. And is that all in place because they're trying to limit their political voice and action? Or is it in place to kind of check the people too on what's kind of happening, kind of like saying, oh dude, that's going to be wrong because we don't have the finances for this because you're not aware of like everything going on in the 10-year plan and stuff like that. We're like, where do we stand right now in the Inland Empire? Like in our situation, is it more of like repression of the people, or is it kind of like you don't understand what's happening because you're not really involved and aware, and like you can't handle the information we have?
Since starting to work in government, there's a lot of things where it's like some stuff is transparent, and like if you go online and know what to look for, you'll kind of find it, but it's like not everyone has access to it, or all the bureaucratic stuff, it's like kind of more on the hidden side, and it's like a lot of deals happen behind closed doors that like average everyday people aren't going to know about. Like, for example, like yesterday's city council meeting, it's like, oh, I already know for a fact that there were like other companies there saying why they should vote yes. I was so happy that like over 40 people called in. 100 people could have called in and they would have still said yes, because they already have like other influencers like in their ear already having discussed and like agreed on these.
Yeah, it's like the Fry Festival of Fontana. Literal influencers just kind of like in there, just whispering in their ear. But that was the thing. It's like they already have their mindset because they're already thinking about the economy. They're like, this is going to help your community, and that's their selling point, without thinking of literally the 40 callers. Like 2 days of this week. I was gonna say ecological. Is that the way? Bro, I don't know that word. I feel like horrible and useless on my own podcast. Damn, I can't even speak. The environmental effects. I was going to say ecological.
I thought we were going to go with economic.
What does that mean? Oh, yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah. Oh, wait, this is your podcast episode. That's why. This is your podcast today. Damn. Bye. Anyways, here's the next question. Let's just hard cut right there. I'm still not recording, by the way. This is not the podcast, but
okay, great. I was so nervous.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, this is like the worst. But anyways, all right. So here's the actual podcast episode question. Oh yeah, let's take a sip. I'm eating a brownie, by the way, which is not something you should eat when you talk.
Why not? Oh, I made some chicken nuggets earlier, and I thought about making more, but I would have had to make them in the oven, which would have taken a long time.
Oh, dude, was it like 425 at like 13 minutes?
Yeah.
That's 13 minutes of your life. You could be doing
and
other
then I still have to wait for the oven to preheat.
Oh, yeah. And you got to preheat that oven for more than 30 minutes, which I didn't know.
What?
You got to preheat an oven for like more than 30 minutes for it to like be fully effective at like full power levels, you know? I didn't know that.
I don't have that kind of time. I like sometimes will put it in before it dings because I can't wait.
No, dude, you gotta throw that sucker in immediately. If you're hungry out there, you just gotta throw your nuggets in there and hope for the best. If they're crisp, they're crisp. If they're not, I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, so here's the second question. Oh, this is a cute question. Hold on. It's a nice question. It's a lighter topic. I know you from like a very creative, very vibrant setting, you know, which is drumming, which is music, which is awesome. Everyone loves music. If you don't like music, you're a chud. You're an absolute cuck. I hate you. But you like music, so you're pretty cool. I love you. I
do.
No, you're a colleague, so I can't love you. I like you. I like you and respect you very much. So we've kind of like both grew up in this community and like very close together without knowing each other, like because we went to like similar high schools. We went to like parallel high. I don't know what.
I was like, yeah, where'd you go? You didn't go to Etowanda?
No, I went to yeah.
Oh. Oh,
no! Right, but we're a new child school. Come on, chill. But we rose to 6A in my time. Bro, I was the first year we were 6A. So
no way.
Yeah, I was the drum major, bro, when we were 6A. What? I was like, yo. Yeah, bro. Oh, you didn't know that?
No, what the heck?
Yeah, dude, I was like, I worked there and okay, I gotta cut that out because there's like legal issues there. No, okay, no, it's not.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, I used to do like caption head stuff and like, I use like a visual.
Oh, you used to work there?
Yeah, I want to go back into working there or working somewhere, some high school, because I like visual tech stuff. Shit's cool. Anyway, so we did marching band, tap band, dance around band, indoor dancing band. And within that community, that is something that is kind of like brought into the Inland Empire because when people think marching band, they think like cities, Rose Parade, shit like that. And we kind of changed it to this suburban field show aspect, which is really wild. Imagine doing a parade in Fontana. You just go through the suburbs and you're just like fucking like think about how long that parade would be. That'd suck. But anyways.
Yeah. I was like, did you ever do that like Rancho parade?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of me. I was on the cover of the Grapevine, like doing a mace trick, a mace routine.
Oh,
I was so small. Dude, I was so short in high school too. I'm really, you know how short, do you know how short I am? I'm pretty short. We've seen each other.
How short are you?
I'm 4'20" at the moment. 4 feet 20 inches, which is 5'8". But in high school, I was like 5'5".
I was like, then I'm also 4'20".
See, so we're short. Oh, you're not. Like, I mean, that is a short.
I was like, I don't think
everyone's
that's
like
short.
5'10" around me. I don't know. I'm just like, hey, where's the question? Oh, I wrote it down. So being in the creative community, you felt more music cultivated in the culture of our community because of how we had a sense of camaraderie within band and everything, and it was very closely knit, almost incestual, because people would date each other and be weird.
Oh my god, yes.
That was so weird. But how do you bring that sense of camaraderie, that sense of community building, the ingesting of new members and freshmen, stuff like that within the groups you've been, and the music realm, because it's very welcoming, and it's not a very safe place. It could be a safe place, hopefully. Should be a safe place. How have you brought that dynamic and that kind of influence into being a politician, being in local government and everything?
Being in band, and it was like a 6A band, so I was literally everyone. Like there were so many people.
It's literally a government of people. Like, dude, that's what I'm saying. Oversight. Like the DM was like the fucking mayor or something. And there's like student staff members or something. Section leaders.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bro, I was like, some power went into section leaders' heads. I was scared.
Bro, when I found out like I could just make rules and stuff or make people run, I'm like, I have so much power. I have so much power, but I won't use it.
The worst sentence was go take a lap.
Yeah, I hated that because I'm like, that's just a waste of time. Then you're more tired. What? No.
Yeah.
Do some crunches.
And then expected to perform it at a better quality when you're more tired.
You're out of breath.
Like, no, of course you're going to run again.
Dude has asthma. Fuck, no. And then like, I would always run. I'm just like, no, dude, I don't want to. That's the worst. Dude, I would have students do crunches because that, abdominal kind of, you look sexy when after
you're like, I'm really helping you.
Exactly. Breathing exercises. When you're running, you're just suffering. Anyways, and bad for your knees. Anyways, I'm so sorry. So you're bringing that I hope you're bringing that into politics, but like, how do you kind of incorporate that sense of community that sense of building each other up and working for a common goal when everyone has their almost like own agenda, like you said, like when the power dynamic and like the thirst for power in some folks that you also experience in that community, and the inequities within that community from other bands. When you see like at competitions and everything where they've been around longer than you, school, like there's program and stuff, but yet they're at a completely different level because they don't have that sense of community that I know Etowanda had a very good program and very encouraging and inspiring program that really built on itself. Has that inspired you? And if it has, like what aspects of that inspired your journey as a future politician, as a problematic politician?
I was like, well, when like I think back on like that experience, it's kind of just like when I see like there are issues where it's like, just because I'm not affected by it, it doesn't mean that someone I know isn't. And it's like, so when I like say things like on the internet or like I'm just arguing or ranting, it's kind of just like, yeah, it doesn't have to affect me for me to like be angry about it or to not say something about it.
I love your rants. I love your quote tweets.
But like I mainly just like reading and then I'm retweeting like what I just read and I'm just like,
dog, it's
why
like,
are you
it's
not
like
mad?
Puerto Rico and Guatemala, make them states. What the fuck are you doing? Start over. Restart the government and everything. No, I definitely agree. You don't have to be directly affected to it, but it's still a concern. And it's like the whole thing about like dividing your attention with like different inequities happening. But how do you do there's so much stuff that you know that's going on within government and politics. And it must be like when the president finds out, you know, like the secrets of the government and they find out that aliens exist, but they're like, I'm not going to tell anyone. Do you feel like that some ways? Or sometimes where you're like, dude, there's so much shit happening. And you're like, dude, I wish I could just air it out and explain it to everyone. How do you not do that? How do you just not tell everyone about aliens and stuff?
Yeah, man. I'm like the minute they told me, I was just like, how can I keep this to myself?
It's a rule.
Like,
but you know, like stuff.
I send cryptic tweets, and if you get it,
oh,
you'll
that's
know.
why they don't make sense. I get it. No, okay. But
like every fourth
dude,
word.
Every fourth word is like save me. Or it's like that weird thing where it's like he lied, she something like that. It's like,
oh my god,
yeah,
he lied. Dude, there's a meme where it's just like it took the other letters from he lied and it was like
yeah, it's just random. Dude, I love that where it's just like random shit and I'm like trying to decode it. I'm like, wait, it's just gibberish. No, I hate this. No. But not like secrets wise, but not even like to that extremity, but with things happening in local government, local politics, and it's so hard to explain like that. Coming into that level of understanding and knowledge, it kind of like reminds me of like how inaccessible it is to even understand politics. And how do you kind of like want to like make that more accessible, like just education wise? Like, does it go into education, like from building up that foundation? And if it does, what about people that kind of like come into our country and come into that environment or come into that community that weren't brought up with that foundation or brought up with that level of education and understanding of the local politics? Like, what do we do for those people that move in basically to that community?
It's hard because I feel like maybe through education, they should focus more on like exactly what goes on, like the ins and outs of government. It's like there's federal, like there's the 3 different branches and that's kind of like what we get. The bureaucracy, like all of the like extra steps and processes and like registering. And it's like very tedious and I think pretty pointless. Is able to cut off more people each step you further go. Like when people call in, sometimes it's like they have 10 things on their agenda. So you're waiting for hours. And it's like not everyone has the time to spend to be sitting there waiting for something to happen. Like people have work, people have to go like cook, they have to go do other things for their families. So it's like,
or they're literally the working class, like they work night shifts, like they can't go at 6 because they're clocking in at the warehouse they want to build. Fucker. Did think of that? I work night shifts, that's why. So I'm like, oh god, how do you even make that accessible? I don't even know. But dude, dividing the North California, I don't know why I'm like talking about this again. I was so excited about
3 Californias.
About, like, 3 Californias. I'm like going back to it. But speaking of Californias, this is a super hard segue. Hold on. There's a noise for super hard segues.
Oh,
we're about to go in this, baby. Super hard segue time. All right, here it is. This is going to be a quick question and answer segment of the podcast. Hopefully, Jenny could keep up. If she can't, then I'm going to kick her out of the bunker.
What is this, a speed round?
Speed round. Let's go. All right. It's like speed dating, but no one's having fun. Oh, so it is speed dating.
I was like, it's so the same thing.
Have you ever first question. Have you ever done speed dating?
No.
Oh, wait. I had to turn the music off. So no? What are your favorite places to travel to?
Like
Yeah,
within California, or just like, I was like, definitely Yosemite.
Oh, there's more? Fuck. You only get one answer. No,
I'm
okay,
trying to
go
think
ahead.
of something else. No!
Oh,
I was like, then
dude,
I changed my
was gonna
answer.
but it's
Joshua
gonna be
tree,
like
Joshua
5 degrees.
tree.
I would have died. Like, it's hot.
I took some of my friends around this time last year, and I completely forgot that I live in a desert and Joshua Tree is also a desert. We went, it was 115 degrees, and we tried hiking.
Bro. Dude, that's why. Wait, how was it? So I could kind of like know the level degree of suffering?
It was the highest degree of suffering.
I hate suffering.
We didn't even finish. We didn't even actually go on a hike.
Oh, you just kind
It
of
was
chilled?
kind of like we drove around. We get out of the car to like stare at like some of the things that are very close to the road, and we'd run back in, and they're like, "Turn on the air, turn on the air."
I might just go to the beach then. Fuck. All right. So next question. Out of all your favorite places to travel to, who was the travel companion that you enjoyed the most? Ooh, okay.
I have two people. So one is named Eric, and the other is Joanna.
I know Joanna.
I was like, you know Joanna. I love Joanna, for the record.
Oh, that's the only noise I got. And it took so long to find that. I don't know why. I should be better at this. Like 4 years of doing this. Anyways, it's my job. Yeah, literally, like, this is like income.
I was like, don't you do this regularly?
That's so weird to say. This is my job. I can't do it. This is your episode, though. That maybe that's why I'm bad, because I'm the guest on your show. So, anyways, I will give you the soundboard.
I was like,
it's actually really
give me
fun.
the soundboard.
There's 200 sounds in here, so have fun. I
was like, you have 200.
I have
like,
8 buttons, but
that?
I have so many pages of
I was
different
like,
sounds. I have to,
I didn't see
go
that many
back and forth
buttons.
on pages to find the sounds. I literally have to memorize it, so I know where the sounds are, but sometimes I press too fast.
So you
I'm
memorize
like,
it.
oh, dude, if I go too fast, you know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna just slip up. You know it, baby.
But yeah, Eric and Joanna are probably my favorite. They're probably the people I go to the most randomest places with, because they're usually always down.
Oh, dude. So that's the thing of like, what makes the good experience? Is there like someone that's like always down, always flexible with the plans, or is it someone that's like super planned out and kind of like has a rigid kind of like idea of like what's going on, but it's kind of fun because it's like planned out in some way? Like what's better for you for those settings at least?
I didn't know this, but I'm actually the kind of person that wants everything planned out.
We have a stuff for that too.
So I like didn't know. Like before COVID, I was just like, I let her know. I was just like, I'm good with the flow.
Oh, but now
Like,
you're like, I need a plan. Is it because like everything needs to have a plan because now everything's open and now you have to like really like navigate where you're going?
I think now it's kind of more like, I just want to see like a lot of different things. And I was like, I don't know if I'll have enough time for everything.
Oh, so time is fleeting you now. Now you have a concept and grasp of what time
I need to maximize the utility.
That's how I feel, dude. I'm like, I want to wake up early, but then I go to sleep so late because I want all of the day. I want the most of the day, but then I just feel horrible and drained. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, God, I hate that. God. Here's the next one.
Okay.
Here's the next sound question. It's still about traveling, by the way. Is that cool?
I was like, oh, I'm nervous.
Oh, I know, because the sound panel, literally, the sound says anxiety, because it gives me anxiety as well.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Have you ever watched that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? On ABC.
No.
That's where it's from.
Do they play this like before they answer the $1 million question?
Yeah. This is literally the like anxiety question, and then it makes people like, oh shit, I don't know. Oh,
they like second guess whatever they're about to say,
and
and
they're
then
right
lose.
because we, all the audience members, me, I know the answer, and I'm like, dude, this is so easy. George Washington. It's so easy. It's on the screen. They don't see the screen. I was a child. And then this is the like final one. They're like, is that your final answer? And then they get it wrong. It's just like, you got it wrong. I'll see you next time. But anyways, I'm so sorry. So you talked about your favorite places to travel. You see very like scenic areas and stuff, like going through like the pictures you post and everything. It's very like eventful where you end up basically. That's not a way to say it. It's like the scenery of like the final destination is very like ceremonious to get there in some way. Would you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lookout or like a very like cool like scenery place. Like why is that? Is it like the traveling like actual like route that to get there, or is it literally like the final destination that you go
for me? Like what do I like better?
Yeah, because like some people are like, I just want to go on a hiking thing, but like there's no scenic overlook or anything, and like they're just literally like climbing shit. And it's like not nice per se, but like it's still activity. And some people are like, I want to go hiking because there's a waterfall at the end of this trail or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like, what's your experience? Like, your favorable route?
I think
or preferred route.
I really like climbing mountains and like not necessarily getting to the top all the time. So it's kind of more of like the journey there.
Oh, okay.
And then it's kind of like if you're climbing a mountain, you're going to get a good view of something eventually. But it's kind of
like a goat.
I just like the experience of going and then like struggling together and then like stopping to take a break. I really like that part too.
But you don't snack. So what do you take a break from? You just stand there.
I just
like,
drink lots of water.
Oh, okay, true. Just stay hydrated because yo, you gotta. Dang. So like, what if someone's like, we're just doing this really boring trail, like it's kind of straight to like a beautiful scenic area that you can't really hike around, but you just like kind of look and just sit and just kind of sit there and just think. Would you like be like, nah, it's okay. Like I'd rather just go on this like really intense trail and die than go on this like weird, really easy path, you know?
If someone asked, I would probably go. I was like, I like sitting and thinking and
you like thinking, saying in your thoughts, little simp.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
That's a horrible recipe. Disaster, baby. Here's another. We're going to the fast questions again, the speed round. What do you wish you knew going into college and politics that you didn't know before?
Dang, what don't I know? What do I wish I knew?
Dang, you know everything. That's the episode, everyone.
I was like, damn.
Bye.
Thank you for having me,
knows
everyone.
everything.
I'd like to thank my mom. Just kidding.
My mom. That's it. Your pups. Who else can you? Your water.
My water.
Your homies. Your new duck. Hell yeah.
Yes, Aflac.
Is that the name? Aflac? Oh,
I think it might be because I can't think of a nicer name.
I love that. Aflac the duck. Aflac the Flusy. Okay, so we'll skip over that question, I guess. Okay.
I'm like, dang, I don't know.
Think about it because I'm going to ask you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, shit, you got it?
I think so. I guess.
What is it?
I'd never really had experience in like a professional setting before. So I kind of wish I had like more knowledge of like etiquette, or so to speak. Like
email etiquette.
Like
stuff?
how to handle people. Because I'm just like, I'm used to food service. Like people are yelling at me or they're not. Like I was always scared. I was scared to do something wrong. I was scared to ask questions. And I guess the thing is, it's like, it's definitely okay to ask questions and like, you're not going to know everything. So you might as well ask.
Do you mind if I ask you what age gap is and stuff like that? Like, are you the youngest person in where you work?
Yeah. So currently, I am. Most of the people I work with, I'm in an office with like 7 other people and they're all in their like 40s.
Seasoned.
They're all lawyers.
Seasoned.
So I should probably say that.
Attorneys and lawyers. Are they like DAs or like kind of like Better Call
some
Saul?
of them are like attorneys, but all of them practice. And some of them have their own side stuff besides just working for the legislature.
Okay. Oh, side hustles like underwater basket weaving and stuff like that. Cute shit.
Yes.
Etsy shops.
Definitely.
Was it like this cricket? Also, like they could be like, I don't know, like attorneys of law.
Badminton.
Yeah. Why are they practicing? By the way, why can't they just be good at it? Imagine going to a lawyer and be like, and they're like, yeah, I'm practicing. I'm like, I don't want you there. I'm not gonna hire you for practicing. I want someone that does this shit all day. You know. Anyway. Okay. So like, you are the youngest person like that. Is that the dynamic that kind of like set you off, or kind of like pushed you aside from wanting to reach out or wanting to ask questions because you think these people are so already involved in the job and that work environment and the professionalism of it? Is that what's kind of set you off, or like why were you kind of like hesitant?
I think like when I was interning, because I interned in an office for school before I got the job that I'm in.
That's it. That's the time. Bye. No, okay, I'm sorry. I've done this so many
supposed to be a
times.
speed round. I forget.
Okay, here's another question. I just forgot it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Being an intern, it was kind of just like, oh, if I have a question, I should try like on myself, like the pressure is on myself to try to find the answer.
To be like innovative. Yeah.
Before I like just ask. And then I would try like several different ways. And then I'm just silently struggling until someone's like, hey, do you need help? And I'm like, yes.
Please. That's true. Like you want to be kind of like a go-getter, be like proactive, be an innovator in that work setting. And it's hard to be like, yo, I kind of just like want help, but it's like, sometimes you don't need help. Sometimes it's like that confirmation, just be like, I just want to make sure I'm doing it in the right process and stuff. How would you recommend someone asking for help when there's such a kind of like age difference and an age gap with the people they work with, or going into such a intense, I would say, like, would you say politics is an intense environment? How would you kind of describe that? Like if someone's going into it?
I was like, I've definitely had like a lot more like friendly and like positive experices. It's kind of like if you kind of express the interest that you want to learn and you want to do something, there's always someone who is willing to help you.
Okay, so it's pretty
You
good.
literally just have to like speak up. And like, that's something that for me, I was very shy. Like, I'm a very shy person.
I'm shy. Ooh, like, okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh.
What advice would you give to someone that's like going into that position that might be also like, you know, shy to start? How could they kind of build that confidence and kind of build that credibility with their colleagues and everything like that?
I was like, honestly, it probably takes like just like sitting down with like whoever you're immediately like supposed to be meeting with. Hey, so it's like, I only have a very limited experience on this. And it's like, can you break down kind of like common questions and things like that?
Okay.
A lot of it wasn't really explained to me. I was kind of just thrown in. But it was like, if I asked, they would have said something. But I also didn't ask.
So that's the thing, like ask questions, but in a confident way and just for clarification in a way, right?
Yeah.
Bet. How about someone wanting to pursue like a career in local politics and local government? Like, how should they approach that? Like, you know how you got involved like at a younger age or like in high school? Is that the path to go? Because you said you're going into sociology when you went to CSUSB, right? CSUSB? Yeah.
Yeah. I went there and then I transferred to
to LA. And then from there, did you go? Okay.
And then I moved to Davis for work.
For work. Okay, cool. That's all right. So yeah, do you like recommend they kind of go into or start getting into it literally like with interning and doing all that? Or should they just be involved? Should they just be aware of what's happening, going to those meetings, going to those local coalition groups, going within their community outreach programs and volunteering? What is like the most efficient way to get involved and actually make a difference?
Trying to be like more active in like a local group, like a local organization, a local like political affiliated group, whichever. They usually are more than willing to spend time with someone who's like interested in like learning the steps, hosting meetings, and like that way you can learn like directly from someone like, oh, how this party works, and it's like their main goals. If they align with your goals, like these are steps into how to implement it and get more people to join with you. And they're usually a lot more like lenient and more patient, and it's like less professional setting. I know for like getting a job at like the Capitol, there's specific things like to intern. They have their own like feeding programs that people join so they can get in. And I didn't know that prior.
Like an intake thing, kind of like to prepare you in some sense?
They have like a fellows program where people apply to get in, and they select only like 20 people.
Oh shit.
But if you're picked, you get to like work on a stipend.
Oh, what's that?
And then eventually get a job.
Dang, if you do well in that project, right?
Or like once you kind of do the program, you're like going to get a job later.
Oh. You hear that, everyone? You just have to do the siphon.
Literally, they have their own programs, and people pick from like that select because they kind of teach you what the jobs entail.
Okay.
And like you take a class or two, and then after a year of doing that, you just apply to jobs, and you're like, oh, well, I already know how the system works and like how things go around here. So it's easier to pick from those people.
So you literally just like noodle and worm your way in. That's a really tough thing because it's like, it seems like it's all like going on with politics because it's like very like exclusive in so many ways with districts.
And then it's kind of like you have to know that this entity exists to get in, or like, because like the average, like I didn't know about it.
Right. Yeah.
And I was just like, I just happened upon this information, and everyone's like, oh yeah, like if you want to do it, you have to go through there. Like there are some people who come from like outside entities, like, and try to get a job or an intern somewhere. And it's like way harder to do that, but it has been done.
Inaccessible in every way. But here's the last.
Yes.
The last, I'm looking for the sound. I'm sorry. Here's the last one. Are you ready for it? I'm not ready for it, but like whenever you're ready, just let me know.
Let's go.
It's a little deep one, so you don't have to like fast. You don't have to like be quick about it or anything. You just take your time. Not too much time. Deep. But some time.
Okay. I'll take 5 seconds.
That's a good amount of time. 5 seconds your time or my time? Because it turned nighttime before it turned nighttime for you. So like whose time are we on?
Yeah, like do you see how dark it is?
How west are you, by the way? Like where are you located? What are your like actual exact coordinates?
Right now?
Yes.
Negative 7.0. I don't know.
Fuck. Dude, what the? You can't just guess. All right. Here's the question. Jenny, how would you like to be remembered?
Oh, that is kind of deep.
I told you it was deep. What do you expect?
I was like, okay, you go first.
Wait, no, this is your show, bro. Go ahead. No. I really think this is a more of a impactful message. What am I saying? I
was like, oh, now I have to make it impactful?
This is a question I've been thinking about a lot for you specifically, because being a politician, I don't know why I correlate that with being a socialite, with being someone that has so much power of influence, like an influencer or an actor or someone that is famous, because not being you're not being rewarded that for talents or anything, but you're being awarded that with trust, with confidence, with reassurance from your community, being voted in somewhere. So you are a representative to people that do believe in you, that are inspired by you, and put you into that position of power because they trust that you're going to get shit done, basically. That means you have a wider sphere of influence in a different sense that like an actor has, that a entertainer has, or a comedian has, and you're going to leave a different footprint within memories of literal structure, policies, and different oversights with people's lives and their actual communities. And I've been thinking about the sphere of influence that you're going to have in politics and the sphere of influence you already have with inspiration and motivation. Not in a sense like, what is this all for? What does this all mean to you? But like, how would you like to be remembered? Whether that be a project, like a dream project or a goal you have in mind, something you could obtain with the position that you're going for, whether it's power to like become a comrade and a communist overseer, oversight, i.e., if you want to be the emperor of Inland Empire, let me know. How would you personally like to be remembered? Whether that's your legacy, your influence, policies you set in place, or your position that you want to leave. No. Anxiety? No, that's not anxiety.
Anxiety. I was like,
oh, this one.
that's it.
This one. Bro, I have every sound, like everything you can even think about. I got so much shit in here. I know it's a deep question, but I think it's very like relevant to the influence you already have. That's why I just like said that 3 times, but like I just am really interested in this, and this is the only segment that will be the podcast. It'll be like 5 minutes long.
The one thing, no, I think like I don't even know if it's necessarily like how I want to be remembered, but it's more like I would want more people to like not only be more involved, but it's kind of like, yes, we have representatives for like a reason, because not everyone can be completely focused on politics the entire time. Everyone has lives to live, things to do, but it's like people kind of just assume that because there's representatives that you don't have to put in any work. For me, it's kind of like I just hope to like invoke more like critical thinking from like individuals, because it's like we should be questioning everything. And like just because I criticize some politician, that doesn't mean like I don't necessarily like them or don't like them or do like them. But it's kind of like, yeah, you should be criticized. Like you're in charge of making decisions for a whole bunch of people, not just yourself. More people. Like, yes, it's hard. Like, there are other things to do. Like, I happen to have a lot of free time, and I'm very fortunate to be in, like, the position that I'm in, to always be, like, poking my nose at, like, different things. We shouldn't just leave it to them. Having someone in power, they're not always going to have your best interests at heart if you don't say something or, like, make a noise about it. And it's something that they should be reminded of, that they're supposed to be working for the people, and that if the people are paying enough attention, they have the power to vote them out and to get someone new in that position that better aligns with what the majority want or whatever the silenced minority wants. I think if I were to like follow more, like become an actual politician, like my main objective would be like not just listening to like the really big corporations or like interest groups like that don't even necessarily have to be tied to like a business, like a big powerful organization that has like a lot of money to easily mobilize. It's like, it's not just about them and their interests. It's about who in my community actually like needs help. How can we continue to uplift the minority? And it's kind of just like, there are so many voices who can't come to the table. So you still have to think about that when you're making like decisions.
I definitely believe in that. That's why you're on this podcast. That's why we're giving you this platform, which you already should be awarded, and you will have more opportunities to speak on that and be a community organizer and everything. But like, I just am so excited to see your journey and like be a part of your journey of growing the community and eventually being the empress of the Inland Empire, basically. What is your first decree? Here it is. Here's the sound. Jenny, as the empress of the Inland Empire, what is your first decree that you're going to declare and put in place?
My first creed. Dang, I don't know.
You gotta know. You gotta know.
Man, we just, as empress of the Inland Empire.
Here we go again.
What's the first thing you're gonna do? Are you gonna like enforce like jousting and like get rid of like guns or like carriages?
Oh yeah, no, I was like, if we're talking about guns, we're immediately getting rid of the police.
Dude, we're
giving back the land.
Oh my god,
we're getting rid of all prisons. On
another episode so we could talk about that specifically, like everything you just meant.
Yes, I was like, oh,
bro,
why didn't we talk about abolition?
I'm so sorry, I did.
We're gonna break down society. That is my main objective.
That I didn't like prepare those questions. I would have. Oh my god, I'm the worst. But we
can totally We can do, because then I was like thinking about it and I was like, dang, we shouldn't just do one episode. Like there's a bunch of like not just silly things, but more serious things. We can talk about.
So sorry. Like it wasn't as. I'm so sorry I didn't dork out so much. Maybe
this is a practice one.
It is because I still am not
for
recording.
Ourselves.
No,
you
I'm
know?
still good.
You know?
No,
then I'll just come out all burn everything down.
Oh, that's your decree. Burn everything down. Gender reveal party for everyone. No, I'd really like to have you back on the show, have another episode and talk about literally anything. And I've been thinking about a lot about abolition, which I've been meaning to talk to you about. It's something like I've been reading like a lot of books about abolition in the Inland Empire specifically, with gangs doing it.
Ooh, me. So you have to send me. You have to send me this list.
It was like from Sunday, like when I went to that meeting, and I'm so sorry. I meant to like send you a whole thing about it. I'll send you a voice message about it later, and like the pictures and stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, please come on another episode so we could talk more about that and lived experiences, because I still don't know much about you. I know 15% about you now. 15, maybe 12. Who knows? It's a generous number. But with that being said, would you like to shout anyone out there that has survived the nuclear fallout and pandemic, since we're in a bunker and everyone's dead probably, but you know, you're alive with a tail and
everyone's
you're
dead.
Like 2 heads. One's kind of dead, hanging around. Looks like a little shrunken head, but it's all good. Would you like to shout anyone out there in the sphere of the wasteland? Any shout outs, anything branded stuff that I'll have to cut out, advertisements, anything like that?
Dang. If only I had a code.
I'll give you the code. Here's the code. Or do you want people to follow you, or anything you want people to be aware of?
I was like, all right, if you want to be woke on Twitter, you can follow me. I don't even know my Twitter username.
You don't? Oh my God. Isn't it Jenny on the block? On the block?
I changed because I wanted to make it my name, but it was too long to make a Twitter
it has
handle
to be like 15 characters, right?
Yes. All right. I was like, if you want the updates on Fontana, it's Jenny from the 909. I just double checked.
Is it? Oh, I thought it. Oh, wait. You just said he changed it.
Because in the meantime, while I think of another name.
Oh, because you said you wanted to like have like professional socials and everything like that. I remember now. Don't worry about it. I am a fool. And hey, Jenny's also gonna. I don't know the timeline for it, but Jenny, she's going to be releasing a podcast about local. How would you really explain it? Is it kind of like local doings and policies and your hot takes on them? Or how would you kind of explain your podcast that you're thinking about and conceptualizing?
I'm like thinking it being like what's going on in like local politics as well as state politics. Also, I feel like it's going to end up me like watching the mayor's Monday talks and me like criticizing half the time. Like what?
Yeah. Live reactions.
Literally, like I might as well just do that.
That'd be kind of funny. Okay. So Jenny's podcast on live reactions, hot takes, and really informative doings. And thank you, Jenny, for being on the show. This is never going to be aired. Never going to be aired ever. Really quick for all of our followers out there, the 2 people listening, which is myself because I'm editing it, and the 1 drunk listener in South Korea. Thank you for listening. You are a loyal one. You've been listening for 4 years now. I love you, baby. Yeah, he's been listening to our Life from Lore podcast, I think, and I'm pretty sure this one. So I love it too.
I love that.
This episode's not going to be released in May, but I just want to make it known because it's always thing and information that should be known about. But the month of April is about Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and going into that, there's also the National Domestic Violence Hotline that I want to just kind of get a plug out there. If you're experiencing any form of domestic abuse or know anyone that might be facing any forms of domestic abuse, you could always call their hotline. You could go onto thehotline.org. You could call 1-800-799-SAFE, or you could text 7233, or you could do a chat live now. There's a bunch of sources to identify abuse, understanding relationship abuse, warning signs of abuse, power and control, trauma bonding, everything like that. You could get the sources there, share them. Don't be afraid to kind of invite this conversation to bring awareness to what's happening, because it is an unfortunate conversation to have, but it's something that is gaslit in so many ways. So just want to put that out there for all the listeners. Thank you again, Jenny. Thank you again, the 2 listeners. Again, shout you out. Love you, baby. I'm just gonna close this bunker. Yeah, come back on the show, please, if you want.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Yeah.
Such a long out. I'm so sorry it's so long.
Just start screaming.
Is this where we go like manic? I don't know. I already had 1 manic episode this month. I have 2. Bro. Yeah, that shit's scary though. Dude, yeah, I would seriously like, I know, dude, this was a long, my SD card is almost full. That's how long this episode is. Which, thank you by the way. Thank you so much for clearing up your schedule and being so free and willing to like have a long, extensive recording episode. I'm really grateful for that. Thank you so much. Like, yeah. No, I'm serious. Like, I'm very thankful. Yeah. Bro, I don't even know. Oh my god, did I tell I fucked up the videos of like the snare line, and I posted it on YouTube, and like it unsynced, so it's like it's like a fraction of it. Like it's like so, but it's noticeable for us, you know.